What's good, everybody? It's your boy Eddie here, and welcome back to the channel, and I hope you're all having a wonderful day. And for today's video, we have a very early look, I believe 14 days to be exact, of a very special sneaker that's releasing in the middle of December because I was able to hit that Nike sneaker shock drop. But before we even continue, guys, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below as well as that notification bell. And one thing that I just want to mention, guys, is that with this channel, you already know you get the latest and greatest sneaker reviews, so please be sure to let your friends and family know. And now with the formalities out of the way, let's just get right into it, guys. So what we have right here is none other than the Nike and Kobe 6 Protro in the reverse Grinch colorway. And I do have to say that based off of first impressions, I do think that this is a super fire shoe. The colorway is rocking, and I believe that this sneaker definitely serves as a wonderful follow-up to the original Grinch colorway that Kobe debuted back on Christmas in 2010, which means that it's been about 13 years now since the original shoe released. I definitely think that this is a certified classic off the rip, and based on how the resale is looking for this sneaker right now, I definitely know that there is an extreme demand for this colorway, man. And fortunately for everybody, there's definitely going to be way more stock than the original Protro release of the Kobe Grinch 6s back in December of 2020, if I'm not mistaken. So I believe there's going to be over 200,000 pairs. Obviously, that doesn't mean that there's going to be a guarantee that you'll get the shoe, but there's going to be many other chances, guys. So don't lose hope or pay resale for the sneaker yet, because there's going to be an exclusive access event on the sneakers app on December 5th. And I've heard that they're thinking of other ways to release the sneaker, which I don't know what the methods are. I can't confirm any of that. But just don't be so quick to pay that $500 plus resale on this sneaker, man. And with that being said, let's just briefly go into the box details real quick. And I have to say that I do love the Kobe Protro boxes, because as you can see right here, it's an all black box, which is a color that I really enjoy, but it also has that Mamba detail, which is another positive about this box. So of course you do have the Kobe logo right there, as well as his signature right below that. And then you have these scales right here on it that is pretty much to replicate what a black Mamba would be like. But the scales on the box don't feel that pronounced, but you could definitely feel it a little bit. Then on this side of the box, you can see the sticker tag right there, and it does read off as Kobe 6 Protro, and the colorway shown is bright crimson and black. And then when it comes to sizing of this shoe, I went with a size 8.5, and for those of you who watch me know that my true to size is a size 8. So with the Kobe sneaker line, I would 100% recommend for most of the silhouettes to go a half size up, because you do have that snug fit that comes with the Kobe line, and I think that it fits amazing once you go a half size up. One other thing that I want to note about the Kobe 6 in particular is that when you wear this insole for a very long time, it literally molds into your foot, which I'll get into later into the details of the video. Then once you open this lid right here, you just greet it with an all black box with some regular white wax tissue paper. And now with that being said, guys, that's going to conclude all the box details. So now let's just go over the history of it. So pretty much when looking into the history of this Kobe 6 Reverse Grinch, it is the same exact history of the original Grinch sneakers. The only difference is that they pretty much reversed the colorway on it. So when you look at the actual history of the Grinch, you guys already know the movie, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. That's exactly what Kobe put onto the shoe. And what was really nice about it is that when he first debuted the sneaker, it was on Christmas Day, which was amazing to see. So pretty much when Kobe debuted this sneaker, it also released into the streets, and based on the history with the Grinch, the colorway of it matching that history and the character, it was an instant hit and an instant sellout, and was impossible to find. So you definitely had to pay that resale if you wasn't one of the people in tune with the sneaker stores and all that type of stuff. And back then, StockX didn't exist. The only way to really find out what the market of the sneaker was to go onto eBay or name your own prices. And without StockX having that market data, nobody really was able to kind of say, hey, well, it was just sold for $500. Why are you selling it to me for a band? And all that type of stuff. So people was making bread off of these sneakers, man. So with that being said, guys, that's pretty much going to conclude all the history about the shoe. So now let's just get right into the details of it. So when looking at this Kobe 6 Protro, I do have to mention that this is a faithful redesign or remake of the original shoe. Pretty much everything on it is about the same, other than some technological changes. Some people prefer it, some people don't, but we'll get into that later into the video. So I just want to start off with the upper of the shoe, because there isn't really a specific toe box on the shoe. The whole upper is actually made out of these scales, and I believe that the material is polyurethane. And what I love about it is the fact that it does have this kind of firmer fit. And if I remember correctly, on the original models, the scales wasn't this pronounced and sticked out as much, but I do love this change on it. Also, I do want to say that this bright crimson color is extremely amazing and actually transitioned well for a reverse colorway, because sometimes when you look at a reverse colorway, is not going to always be as good as the original, but I do believe that this is a wonderful follow-up to that original colorway. Of course, for me, I'm going to be biased and always choose the original Grinches over these, but again, I do believe that the reverse colorway transitioned well, and I do see that there's a big demand for this sneaker in the streets, so Nike did create a big hit with this colorway, man. Now, when going into the laces of the shoe, you do see that we have these green apple or lime green laces, which is pretty much the colorway of the original Kobe 6 Grinch, and then the red laces that were on the original green Grinches is what became this red upper on this new shoe, and I think that reverse design is completely genius, and again, Nike has a hit with this one. So now when moving on to the tongue of the shoe, as you can see right here, we do have this unique tongue that Nike calls the torch tongue, and essentially what it is a mesh tongue with this kind of honeycomb design foam inside of it. And pretty much the purpose of it is that when you usually wear basketball shoes, you tie them really tight so that you have that firm feel on it. But on certain shoes, when you tie it too tight, you may feel that pressure onto the top of your foot. However, with this honeycomb foam design, that actually creates a separation between the tight laces and the top of your foot. So it leaves for a firm fit, but a comfortable feel while playing ball. So I think that's a very wonderful technology, and I think it's pretty underutilized. I don't think that Nike uses this at all with any of their basketball line sneakers. So Nike, you should definitely bring this back if you decide to. Of course, that's not within my pay grade, but it is what it is on that. Then we move on to the top of the tongue. You can see that we have that Kobe logo right there, but it's really interesting to note what that actually means. So what this design pretty much is a sword within its sheath, and Kobe pretty much said that the sword is to represent the talent, and then the sheath represents the effort that someone puts into developing their talent even more. So when we focus back onto the sneaker right here, you can see that we do have that beautiful black Nike check right there, and it does stand out with the bright crimson colorway. Then once we go on to the back heel area of the shoe, now you can see that we have the synthetic material right here, and it is kind of reflective, not like a 3M reflective, but I can kind of see my face on that shiny material, which is pretty cool. Then when moving right below that synthetic material, you can see that we do have that Nike Zoom logo right there, but unfortunately, compared to the original model, the Zoom is no longer in the heel of the shoe. It's actually in the forefront. So we do have that Zoom Turbo in the forefront, and then on top of that Zoom Turbo, we do have some full-length Cushlon as well. And then when moving into the back heel area of the shoe, now you can see that we do have that Kobe logo right there. Then when moving on to the medial side of the shoe, the same thing pretty much follows suit. And something else that I want to mention about the shoe is the fact that when we look on the midsole, we do have these dots right here, and originally I thought it was Braille, but I was completely wrong on that. So on every Kobe sneaker, guys, you can see these dots around the shoe, whether it's on the midsole, the back heel area. All the Kobe models have it on different areas of the shoe, but what I do want to note is the fact that Kobe has his own type of code. So on Reddit, they actually have a breakdown of all the codes, and each code is literally one letter. So when you look at each of the dots, they represent a different letter. So what I saw on my pair was that it did say Black Mamba. So now when going on to the outsole of the shoe, man, we have this beautiful Kobe 6 traction pattern right there. It's pretty much the same thing on the other shoes, but we do have that nice carbon fiber insert right there. And then one final detail on the sneaker that I want to note is that when you look at the front of it, it does say Phenomenon. So it's a play on Phenomenon, but obviously as the Black Mamba, we're talking about Venom, and they kind of just wordplayed, and I think that's a pretty cool touch. One final thing that I want to note about the shoes is its insoles. As I mentioned earlier, they are wonderful. They are bendable, but they are still pretty firm, and they do have a nice caption on it. So when you actually put the insoles together, it does say, "I want a shoe that molds to my foot." And then we do have the initials KB on one insole, and then the numbers 24 on the other, which I think is a very nice touch. And once it molds to your feet, it feels amazing for basketball play or casual wear, however you want to wear your Kobe 6s. So that's pretty much going to conclude all the history as well as the details of the shoe. So now, let's get right into this on for look, alright? So that's going to conclude the review as well as the on-full look, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did making it for y'all. Definitely let me know what you think about the Nike and Kobe Protro 6 in the reverse Grinch colorway. I definitely think it's a classic and is a wonderful follow-up to the original Grinch colorway, but I want to know what y'all think in the comment section down below. And other than that, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Y'all already know the rest, so I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.